signed documents, got $900,000 cash out of an apartment, disappeared. 2 weeks later, the guy gets a phone call from the real owner and says, "Why is there a mortgage on my property?"
Hey Daniel, how are you? Great to have you here at our Star Life office and joining us at our podcast. First, it's an amazing to have you as a friend, and we've done thousands of deals, billions of dollar volume, and you are coming from the title, attorney, lending background, so you have all of that. So thanks for being here. So I know that you have been in a business. I want to start first how you got into real estate law and what drew you into the real estate specifically.
Oh man, so I started this back in 2002 when Miami was flat and Sunny Isles was flat. I went to work for a very, very prominent real estate attorney who retired, and he was one of the best in the industries. He took me in, and I just loved the business, and we worked together while I was going through law school. Then he retired, and I basically took over his practice, and I've been doing it ever since. So 22 years, 23 years in the making that I've been around here. And I've watched Miami transform from flat hotels to what it is right now. Even this building wasn't here when I was.
I can imagine the past 20 years how it has changed.
Completely different.
Every day is completely different, new city. But how come you decided that you want to practice real estate law instead of any other law? Why real estate?
I like to see physical change and I like to help people achieve something tangible, as opposed to, I can do car accidents, I can do everything, and that's not interesting. With real estate, I get to see something live being done, whether it's representing a developer or doing a sale for a buyer. It's like their most expensive purchase. It's your biggest project. It's people pouring every single penny into it, as opposed to them needing something or them being injured or having an argument. It's usually a positive thing. So it's the type of law where it's not maybe it's not that exciting, but you're creating. Well,
for me,
for you it is, but it's creating something positive. So it's very rarely, people are smiling, people are enjoying it, people celebrate, and
if they have a good deal, of course they'll.
even if it's a bad deal, they still enjoy it at the moment. So it's the tangibleness of it that I really enjoy, because I get to work with people on mostly positive notes and not the negative. That's why.
I know that you also have been an immigrant coming to this country.
Yes.
Like myself,
yes.
I came when I was 14. And for me, it was completely like a cultural shock that I received, because I came straight from Armenia to Los Angeles, and then from there to Miami, which even LA and Miami were completely different. Yeah. But tell me about your background when you came here. How was the first years? How did you plan? And what was your American dream?
I'm a typical Jewish immigrant that escaped communism with their family in the 90s. So we came here in 1993. We came straight from Russia to Miami, straight to Miami. My dad spent 3 days in New York, and he said, "I'll never do that." Came straight to Miami.
He knew about the taxes.
He knew about the taxes back then. Yeah, he didn't like the subway. He brought us here. Miami was a different place, and just like every immigrant family, we lived in it was me, my brother, my mom, my dad. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment full of cockroaches. It was, I still remember it. It was $500 a month. I slept on a leather couch. There was no AC. And I remember waking up at night and I would get stuck to the leather of that couch. And and it's true. And that's just like a typical immigrant, story of everybody else. My dad worked 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for $6 an hour.
That's crazy.
Doing vending machines. And because we were so broke, he would bring home the expired food from the vending machines, because he would do burgers and burritos, and the law is like if it expires in a day or two, you can't keep it in a machine. So we would have dinner, we would have like these frozen burgers in the microwave, and we did that for 2-3 years. And just like every immigrant family, my parents got on their feet. My dad eventually became a very, very prominent mortgage broker. He worked for A Plus Financial, which was a very big company in the early 2000s. And then he went to work for A&D Mortgage, which is a big company. He passed away a few years ago, but and that's how we rose. And my mom too. My mom became a real estate agent. She was a real estate agent for 20
He was the first risk taker.
He was. He got us out of there. And my mom became she was a waitress, then she did this, then she cleaned homes, and then she became a real estate agent. Now she's semi-retired, but that's how they got up. And so I've been in real estate forever because my dad was a mortgage broker, my mom was a real estate agent, so like I was around that all the time.
Look, and when did you decide that from practicing law, the next step would be to open up your business? Because that transition is usually scary. A lot of people, their whole life, don't take those kind of risks. They live their life thinking that, you know what, one day I'm going to open it, and next year, and then that never happens,
I've always been a businessman. I was selling pixie sticks in middle school. I was selling cigarettes in high school. Like we would buy packs of cigarettes.
I don't know what kind of high school you went.
I went to public high school, Hollywood Hills High. So if anybody knows, I went there. No, I went to Hebrew school. Then I went to Hollywood Hills High. We would sell anything that we could. I started flipping properties in 2002. I was 18 years old. I borrowed 10 grand from my mom. I bought 2 properties. I flipped them and I kept flipping them. I was doing my own thing. I actually closed on 2 properties right before the crash in 2008.
Perfect time.
I closed on 2 apartments in 2008. I woke up the next morning, market crashed. So like I was a businessman ever since. I did government contracting. If you ever Googled my name, you'll know. I've always had a business knack to it. It just comes from being an immigrant. You want to do better and better.
Of course, yeah.
So I could never work for anybody. And my father always taught me. He said, "Don't work for anyone. Always work for yourself. If you work for yourself, be your own boss. Even if you make no money, at some point you grind and you grind."
Not a lot of people take that, but once you do it, the first couple of years is very hard.
You have to.
But once you get used to the resilience, I think it's very important.
Absolutely.
Once you pass that stage, then it becomes more easier. And God forbid, let's say the first business or the second is not successful, you fail it, or there's some mistakes. What teaches you life as a businessman and business owner is that you always come back. So even if the life takes everything from you, you know how to get that back. So I think that's one of the experiences and the knowledge that you get as a business owner that it's invaluable.
Absolutely. I feel like you either have it or you don't, and you can fail 100 times, but then 101 time you're going to see that breakthrough. You should know that as well. I mean, anybody that starts over, the first time you fail. Yeah. And by fail, I don't mean you lose everything, but things don't go the way you want. Yeah. You're learning here, you're learning there, but eventually you will strike gold if you just continue going at it. Title insurance is magic. Other countries, you buy something, you don't know what you're getting. Thank God America has a great system that protects home ownerships, real estate ownership, anything. So title insurance is very important. It protects you from mistakes that anybody could miss. Yeah. Whether it's the attorney, the title company, the seller. It protects you from fraud. It protects you from judgments, any kind of debts that are unforeseen. So people that come to me and say I want to waive it or I don't want to have it, I tell them I'm not going to close that deal, because at the end of the day you come back to me and you make it my fault. So a developer, first-time home buyer, it doesn't matter who you are, you need to have it, because I see claims, I see things pop up all the time. Remember, especially in these days, you have so much fraud. You have mistakes.
Tell me a few examples how that can protect, let's say, either the homeowner or the developer.
So, oh my God, I can go on. You
give me the top few examples that comes to your mind. How it can protect us.
Missed mortgages. Somebody, especially these days, tries to sell you something, and the day before they sell the property to you, they go take out a loan from the bank. And then what happens then? If you don't have the title insurance, you find out
see.
in 6 months from now that there's a foreclosure on your property because the guy took a loan, and you don't know, because the system that we work for is a public record system, and there's always a lag. You know, you do a search, but it's always a little behind. So that's one of the biggest things. We have a lot of problem with improperly done documents. You know, some people do deeds at home, they do wills at home, they sign things at home that they think are valid, they transfer properties, and you find out that, oh, my wife didn't sign the deed, or I have a brother who owns half the property, and then you're screwed, you're stuck, then you have to go and sue these people. So AI fraud, you know, you have impersonations, you have fake passports, people show up with a real passport that's not a real passport. And then that, you know, a title insurance policy will cover you.
How clever can they be?
Man, I had a situation from a partner of mine who has a private lending company, and they loaned. I didn't do the closing. Another title company did the closing. The guy showed up to the closing. He had a passport. He had a U.S. visa inside the passport. It was a Venezuelan passport. Inside there was a visa, so like a U.S. visa, stamps and everything. Signed documents, got $900,000 cash out of an apartment, disappeared. 2 weeks later, the guy gets a phone call from the real owner and says, why is there a mortgage on my property? And the title insurance policy paid out. I mean, he showed up with a passport. I mean, we're not border patrol. I can't, no one's looking in a loop. So this shit happened. You'd be surprised, but this stuff happens. I was on a Zoom call with a seller that I knew was not the seller. You can tell, like, the guy was trying to have an AI face, and like the lips were moving. It's crazy. The stuff that goes on these days is nuts. I don't care if you're buying.
Clients, probably.
Huh?
One of my clients.
I don't know, but it doesn't matter if it's like it makes.
I mean, that's part of being a lawyer.
That's life. That's life.
I know that besides doing title, you also have your lending company where you are a lender.
Yes.
So, walk me through about the first 5 minutes of looking at the deal. Like, how do you underwrite if this, let's say, the deal will be yes or no? Like, how do you quickly review it?
We do have a licensed lending company. We're also servicers, so we actually not just lend out, we service the loans, we do underwriting. We have a team here in Atlanta and in South America that we work with, that works with us. The way we look at the deal is we look at the borrower and not so much their credit score. We don't care about credit score and things like that, but we look at the borrower and his experience.
It's a hard money lending, right?
That's hard money lending for you. We don't focus on credit. We're non-conventional, and we look at the project, and we review the project to see the type of project and the potential of the project, and then if we will know within a couple minutes whether that's something we want to lend to or not.
Work or not.
And unfortunately, we deny 5 out of 10 loans, so we will only lend to 50%.
So, how do you, or what do you pay attention in the sense that this developer or this borrower will be a good or serious candidate versus the one that is not? So, what are some of the advices you can give to the maybe first-time developers or borrowers that they can be more prepared?
So, experience, obviously. If you've done a project in the past, and you can show us a portfolio, that's one thing. 2, if you've never done anything, have a plan.
God bless you.
No. Listen, you have to start somewhere. We just spoke about, failing, and there's nothing wrong with failing. You have to try. But when somebody comes to us and says, hey, I want to build a spec home, and I ask them, have you ever built a spec home? And they're like, no, I renovated a bathroom once.
In 3 years.
Yeah, and it took me 3 years. So, I don't know about that. But if we lend you money, we want you to succeed and then borrow again.
What if they initially, let's say, failed or somehow later they were able to find the money or pay you back? Would you continue lend that borrower? Or if you see that they're waiving and they're not able to keep up with the payments, for them, it's for you, it's a high risk?
So, as a lender, we're very conservative when we lend. So when we lend, our default rate is very little, but we do have a default rate because everybody has issues. So what we do is, if the client is honest with us we work with them. If the guy's like, I'm going to send the money tomorrow, it's coming, I swear it's coming. Oh, I just had a baby. Oh, we're never going to work again. But if you come to us and you say, look, this costs too much, or this project is over budget and I have to come up with money, could you give me 5-6 months, but I'm going to finish it. I'm taking out a loan on my home to make sure, I like the honesty. If you come to us with a plan and honesty, we work with you. But there's people out there that just, they disappear or they lie to you. Oh, it's coming. I sent a wire. Where? Oh, I sent it. It's coming next week.
Crossing the border.
Exactly. So, we have these kind of people. So that's how it is. If you're honest with us, we
And I think you were probably like one of the first ones that has done it here in South Florida. I don't know about the whole US. So can you walk me through, let's say, if I have an investor outside of the US and they are a crypto investor, how would that transaction differ from a traditional transactions, or how close they are?
It's super easy. I started doing crypto. We started accepting crypto in 2020. My first deal was at 2022, and it was an $18 million home, and that was my first deal, and I had no idea what I was doing. I had a client.
Great way to start.
Yeah, I had a client come to me, and he says, "I have crypto. I'm gonna buy this home. Figure it out." And 2022 is like when it was just starting to start. So I partnered with a company that does the exchange, and it worked out great. And I've been working with them since 4 years now. And there's other companies that have gone bankrupt. There's fraud. There's guys disappearing with money, going to jail. If you're in Miami, I can name you people that are sitting in jail that have taken crypto and disappeared. But the company that I work with has been solid for the past 4 years, and I've had no problems with it. And we do maybe 2 to 3 crypto deals a month ever since then. So I wasn't the first one, but there was another company that did it, but I was the second probably. And we've been doing it since. It's safe, it's secure, the risk is very low, but
how does the title work with the crypto?
Right, so a lot of people have this misconception of how that works. Crypto, even though it's not regulated, it's still regulated on the level of us and the closing and the due diligence. So I can't just take crypto and just be like, great, thank you. We have to do the due diligence. We have to do the background check on you. So if you want to send us money, you're going to go through a bigger background check if you were to just wire us. Because when you wire us money, the banks do the anti-money laundering. Because they're responsible for the anti-money laundering rules. With crypto, the responsibility is on me. So if I don't check who you are, I can have the Department of Justice show up at my door tomorrow and arrest me for money laundering. And that's why a lot of people, when they call me, they're like, can I send you $1 million tomorrow? I go, no.
The next day?
No. There's procedures. You have to go through background check. They do the due diligence.
Southeastern Title Company does all of that?
We work with the company that does it. You go through a certain step process, and the way it works is the crypto converts to dollars and then it goes into our account. Or a developers that are accepting crypto with the same process. They accept the payment, the company...
At the time of the transaction, the crypto has been transferred into US dollars.
Correct, and then it goes into the trust, escrow account, or whatever. So that's how it works. You're not holding the crypto. It always gets converted because everything in the US still has to go through dollars.
And which kind of crypto can be used?
Any stable coin. So it can't be like Shiba. It can't be Dogecoin. It has to be USDT.
With the Shiba, I'm a billionaire.
I'm a billionaire Shiba. You want to see my Shiba account? You got 2 billion Shibas. It goes up 0.1 cent. We'll never see each other again, right? But yeah, so stable coin, USDT.
Let's say if I'm a foreign investor,
right?
Besides crypto or just the general, dollars, like if I'm a foreign investor, I know there is a FIPTA law.
Right.
So how is that going to be treated for an international investor, maybe investing into projects with a developer or buying a property? How would the structure work if there is a way to bypass it legally, or What do you usually advise them?
So FIRPTA only applies if you sell real estate or any property in the US. If you're a foreign investor and you're investing into, for example, investors put money into our loans, into our fund, and we pay them out. The great thing about being a foreign investor, whether they're putting money into a development project or into loans or into anything that's not like hard asset real estate, there's, this is not tax advice because I'm not a CPA, but there's what's called a portfolio exemption. So if you're a foreigner and you're investing money into the US and you're making a return, that could actually be tax-free. There's certain guidelines you have to go through, and if you meet with a proper CPA, if they invest in your development or they invest in our fund that we have, the interest that they make is actually non-taxable, because there's little caveats in the tax code that let you do that. So it's great if you're a foreign investor putting money into America. Now, if it's tangible real estate you're holding and then you sell it, so if they become partners as actual owners of the real estate, you would have to do the withholding. But if you're paying them interest on the money they give you, there's a portfolio exemption, and it's tax-free basically for international
If they
buyers.
partner up, let's say with the developer, they are part owners and they're selling,
then they would have to be subject. Well, not necessarily. There's legal structures you can do where they can come in as an entity. So they can set up a company instead of individually. I can do a bunch of things where there's no FIRPTA. You would have to pay your taxes on the gain, which everybody has to do, but you don't have to worry about any withholding. Interest is great because there's a lot of tax benefits.
And like, I know that you are closing a lot of transactions per month, so you would see usually the trends in a real estate. So would you think, or would you say that it's more like, what's the next 3 to 6 months looking like? Like, what's your expectations that the market will, are you closing more deals now, less deals?
So volume wise, it's been very steady, but the market is volatile. You got 2 wars going on, or 3 or 5. I don't know how many wars we got going on.
Maybe Cuba will start soon.
Cuba, maybe. We have Venezuela, we have Iran, we have a lot of things going on. We have things going on in Canada and politics. So things are volatile.
Greenland too.
Greenland. Greenland is nice. We can use Greenland. It's volatile, so it's impossible to say, but the market's strong, especially South Florida. South Florida, it's like we're in a bubble. Nobody cares. You can have like nuclear weapons exploding somewhere, and some guy is going to buy a $3 million home in Florida. He's like, fuck it, I want to live on the water. If I have 5 minutes left, I'm going to live on the water. And that's just how it works. Like the whole world is burning, but people are still buying Florida.
The soonest.
It's crazy. The world is burning, right? There's like wars. People in California aren't buying, but people in Florida don't give a shit. They're buying. They're buying $18 million homes. They're buying $20 million homes.
Why do you think that is? Or what are some of the factors that have to do with it? I mean, I know the weather is one.
It's our water. It's all in the water. It's the great water system. It's weather, views, beautiful women, beautiful people, alligators. It's the weather, taxes, no state taxes, weather, the people, and just the environment that the people are coming.
I know that a lot of capital has been moving to Florida, especially lately. We have seen that a lot of Japan's equity fund is moving to Florida. We have seen probably the last 1 or 2 years a lot of Swiss, a lot of European funds moving, a lot of equity and hedge fund for us. So I think now when we look at these much larger capital markets, when they're moving to Florida, they know something. And I think that a lot has to do with after COVID, a lot of things have been clear that Florida and Miami is like one of the best places to be in. And I want to ask you if you think that, like, my opinion is that Miami hasn't reached its peak yet. We are not there compared to Monaco, New York, I don't know, London. So what do you think the future of Miami is the next 3 to 5 years?
I think it's going to grow exponentially. Europe is in turmoil in politics. Monaco is, there's a king. So you don't get the financial freedom that everybody thinks there is. So it's still it's controlled by one person who makes all the decisions. Europe is in turmoil. Switzerland is not what it used to be. Liechtenstein is not what it used to be. It's not those safe havens of money anymore, because the world has changed. Miami is like becoming the financial capital of not just America, but the world. Look who's moving down here. All the tech companies are moving. Everybody from Chicago, New York, they're all coming down here, and they're opening up financial centers. We're going to have a stock exchange here. I think eventually it'll probably move down. So within the 3 to 5 years, we're going to be a huge megapolis.
Rule number one is to keep buying in Florida.
Rule number one is buying, because Florida is a peninsula. You got water, 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 and in between there's land. And then once that land is gone, it's gone.
You have about, I think, 90 miles north to south, let's say from West Palm Beach down to Miami. Then east to west, maybe 30 to 40 miles.
Of which half is Everglades. You can't build and you never win. So land in Florida, it doesn't look like it's scarce, but it's scarce. It's not. It's not like Canada where land is
that's
everywhere.
True.
So even if you go a little bit west, that's it. You have Everglades. You past the 75, you're done. You have the Everglades, and that's it. So land is.
If they are looking into their first deal or their 100th deal, people make mistakes. So what kind of advice would you give them to pay attention to make sure that this is done or this is taken care of? So the deal is solid, the deal happens.
If you don't know what you're doing, you need to partner up with somebody who does. That's it. You got to make sure you get the right either contractor, project manager, partner, investor, somebody that can mentor you or walk you through it, and the chances of making mistakes are much smaller that way.
Risk mitigation.
Risk mitigation is the way to go. If somebody went to Harvard, he's using risk mitigation. I like it. How was your Harvard experience, by the way?
Very good, very good. It's two programs that I'm doing simultaneously. So one of them is with the Harvard Graduate School of Design, which is called AMDP, Advanced Management Development Program. It's specifically for real estate developers.
Right.
And that program, I'm graduating this July, and we have majority of the students as developers. And this is considered one of the best real estate clubs in the world.
From the country or the world? Who's there?
From the world.
Oh, cool.
From
That's
the
awesome.
world. So they put together all of the best developers, largest developers.
Right.
One of the funniest thing is that there's a lot of ego. So you know that the developers have big egos, right? So try to put them
Bigger
all in
buildings.
one place.
Mine's 80 stories.
Exactly.
Mine's 100 stories.
Everyone is like, oh, I'm doing like 5 acres. Oh, I'm doing 50 acres,
course.
100 acres.
Yeah.
So then one of them
I'm
comes with
building one house.
30,000 acres, and then one of them like, oh, I just finished my after 5 years
I built the duplex.
bathroom.
The duplex.
So it's great place to partner up and network, because all of these developers are in their average age was 46.
Right.
So I was the youngest in the cohort. I was 31 when I was accepted into the cohort, but there were some people at 62.
Anybody else in Florida or just you?
I was there were only 2 of us from Florida.
Did you kill the other guy? Who's the other guy?
She was a lady.
Ah, okay. Take that back. North Florida or down here?
No, she's actually from Hollywood.
Ah.
We're neighbors.
Okay. Your sister?
She's a smart lady.
Good.
But the point of this program is to connect the developers, and one of the most important thing was that they gave us a site about 50 acres,
right?
Which I cannot disclose yet.
Real site or fake, like
real
an actual
real site from the city representatives were at Harvard.
Right.
They gave us about 8-9 months to come up with the master plan.
Right.
And then they split our whole. Another question, how did you scale up? I know that you have had the business over 20 years. So back then running it was completely different than today.
I never wanted to scale. That's always been my
more of a boutique.
So I've always wanted to do a boutique kind of thing, because I believe in quality, and in my sector for me is quality over quantity. So I could have had 20 locations nationwide, 20 offices. I never wanted that. I like to, not that I don't micromanage. I don't macro. It's nothing to do with that.
It's difficult
It's,
being the owner to say that.
Yeah, no, but I don't. I do leeway, but I like to be in control because at the end of the day, I want to keep my reputation, and I know that sometimes in my business, when you get too big, quality goes down, and that happens with a lot of people. But that's part of business, and there's nothing wrong with it. You get too big. Anything from Amazon, look, you can return stuff. They don't even ask for returns anymore. They just send you the money back because they don't care. In development too, you can become so big, and then you build a project and people complain. This is done terrible. This is no longer quality. I'm not going to name the big guys, but some big guys, they've gotten so big that they just poop out a project, and it's shit. So anything in volume, and it's true. You walk into a condo and the doors fall off, and you get the lawsuits and things like that. So I never focused on scaling. I like my boutique operation. I like to be hands-on involved. So for me, I'm happy with that. I have my office. I represent a niche amount of clients. So that I'm happy. It's never been my dream to have 100 employees. It's not who I am.
It's
but in your field, you need to have that.
I think this is a machine that cannot be stopped.
Yeah.
So I think that machine, to be able to continue doing the projects, that's the natural way of progression of a real estate.
You can't build 21 Hollywood and then just wait. Stop. And then, wait, let me finish, I'll go to that. You need to have...
You always have to have next projects coming up. So if you look at the cycle, it's about a 5-year cycle, 4 or 5 year cycle, meaning from the acquisition until the exit. That could take 3 to 5 years. So basically, you don't want to be stuck into one position and not have. Usually, the developer should have, let's say, in 1 year, acquisition, design project, one exit.
So in
staggered,
1 you have. So you're constantly.
Otherwise, you are either going to be super rich or broke. That there's no other way.
Well, probably broke. If you're doing one project for 5 years,
it's not a good sign.
Then you're doing the bathroom remodel. It's the same guy that's doing the bathroom remodel.
I know some people in the industry that have taken 6, 7, 8 years doing one project.
Right. But those aren't. That's not a.
They'll not last.
That's not a developer. That's not a builder. That's just.
So my last question is, I know that you are running the business with your spouse.
Yes.
So I want to know how easy or challenging, or is that a good business decision? So people who are interested to open up their businesses, they can hear from the expert.
To be honest, I think that in my situation, it was the best decision I made. We work very well together. There's things that she complements that I can't, and there's things that I complement that she can't. So she has the bigger vision, and she moves and sees forward, and then comes to me, and then we both execute. So we work very symbiotically. Do we fight like crazy? We used to in the beginning, but now we turn off when we come home. But for me, it was an amazing decision. I think that working with family, you work with your brother.
Exactly.
Would you imagine working with anybody else but your brother?
Nope.
No, honestly.
No way.
Right? So wife, brother, parents, I know there's this whole dynamic that you shouldn't work with family, and in situations you shouldn't. But in my situation, it's worked out great. I wouldn't
For us,
change
it's
it.
the absolute trust.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it with anything. So we trust each other. We have the same vision. Do we fight? Does it affect our relationship? Of course it does. But when we sit down at the end of the year and say, look how much we've grown and accomplished, you kind of forget everything. So it's the only people you can trust. Nowadays, business partners are very difficult to trust. So family is all you have. Developer. So I ask every developer I meet with this, which bothers me about Florida, by the way. So here's your Harvard question.
Yeah.
You're not from America. You're from Armenia, and you've been to all over the world. So, and I'll ask you about mixed-use projects. Everywhere you go in the world, you have your condo, and then you have the storefronts. You have the restaurants everywhere. Florida is terrible with that, and I understand it's the pedestrian thing that it's hot, nobody wants to work. But are you, what do you see as far as like mixed use projects and finally building something that has, you know, livable space and then usable space on the bottom? Because a lot of these buildings, it's just condos, and then you can't even walk to a cafe or go anywhere. Like I know 21 Hollywood,
Yes.
you're building, you have commercial space on the bottom and also livable space. So do you think that's important to just continue in that trend, or?
You know, the notion really comes from which city you are developing in, because each city has a master plan of the whole city, how they want to see the corridors and transitional areas and how they interact. Ideally, if you look at the urban planning, yes, it has to be mostly mixed-use developments that you will see a lot in you know, different cities in the world that are more urbanized than the rest. Then yes,
Archer Aviation. So Archer Aviation is the company that's doing the flying taxis. It's up $2. It's up 25 cents.
25 cents. You see, but if you did the work with the Only Fund, the minimum is about 25%.
Tell me about OnlyFund, or is that still a secret?
It's, you know, the thing about secret is it's secret.
Not anymore. Well, if he knows, it's not a secret. So,
But I think we will be
we will be
launching it in maybe 2-3 months.
And then you'll tell us about it.
A couple of more things left to finalize, but the main idea, off camera, we can share with you the platform.
Yeah.
So you can give us your feedback because you are a lender.
Yep.
And you are investor, and then I think this is going to be much better than your stocks.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
It's so good that I'm considering to invest too.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thanks for coming, brother.
No.